Hello, welcome to a new kind of video I'm going to be doing here on my channel. Hopefully it may not work, it may live and die by this very video, but if it is, it's a good video to go out on, trust me. I'm going to be reviewing and talking about the latest Masters of Cinema release, which just came out today, Monday the 12th of September 2016. And before we get into the film itself, and there will be a bit of a channel update at the end of this video too, if you want to stick around for that, things that are coming up and things like that. First of all, I want to just kind of like pull the veil back a little bit and kind of be completely straight up with you guys while I do this video, before I start this video I suppose in full. I got sent this to review from Masters of Cinema. Now this is a thing that happens in the community, and I don't like talking about it because you shouldn't have to really, but sometimes it gets brought up and I guarantee someone would comment on this video otherwise and say, well, how come you're reviewing this Blu-ray if you don't have the Blu-ray? Well, I have the Blu-ray, I just don't have the Blu-ray, if you know what I mean. I have the disc, just a blank disc with the film on it. It's the same transfer and extras and everything that comes on the official release, so that I can review it and talk about it. Now I have reviewed Blu-rays for companies for a couple of years, done some with Arrow, Universal, Warner Brothers, Disney, Signal One recently, so it's not, you know, it's not out of the norm for me, but I don't have the actual Blu-ray to hold and show to you, so I'll have to put the pack shot up here, what the cover looks like and things like that. And you know, I do feel like sometimes if you review a Blu-ray and you haven't got it to kind of go, hey guys, look at this, and you have to show it and the physicality of it, you know, people kind of don't watch it if you don't have that sometimes, and I've done it before and it hasn't been as successful, but I want to do it anyway. I mean, I sent an email to Eureka, and it seems to me from their response that they only send out the discs, so that is fine, and I'm going to try my best to kind of bring you guys some videos that are reviews of their new releases moving forward, because I'm such a big fan of the Masters of Cinema brand, such a big fan of Eureka. I mean, you can see all of them behind me. I did the 100+ collection video recently, and so I want these guys to continue. I want to give as much support as is humanly possible, so I'm going to try this out, and if you guys enjoy it, if it gets a good reaction, then I'll continue to do it. I have another screener that I could do maybe next week of another new release coming out in a couple of weeks, so we'll see how it goes. But we're going to be talking about The Flight of the Phoenix from 1965. Now when I first heard about this film, I was kind of really excited about it. I'd never heard about it before. I'd actually heard about the 2004, I think, remake. Either way, there was a remake in the 2000s. I'd heard of that film, but I didn't know there was an original, nor did I know there was an original that starred Jimmy Stewart and Richard Attenborough. Like, I just couldn't believe it. I saw when they announced this, I thought, wow, just those two actors in the same film together is enough to get me really excited about this. But the cast is phenomenal. You've got Ernest Borgnine, you've got George Kennedy, who I was really excited to see in this film, but he's in a very, not a minor role, because everyone in this film is in the film for quite a long time, and you're really just stuck with this core group of characters. But George Kennedy's character was not really featured that much, and he of course would go on to play a couple of years after this Dragline in Cool Hand Luke, where he's amazing, won the Oscar for that, I think. But mainly Jimmy Stewart, Richard Attenborough, and Hardy Kruger, who I believe is the guy who plays the German in this film, and he was phenomenal. Now the story of this film is very simple. It's set mostly in the Sahara Desert. The only time it's not set in the desert is the first few minutes of the film, the introduction to the film, where we're flying through the air in this cargo plane, transporting people in the oil business and some military personnel. You have Jimmy Stewart as the pilot, and Richard Attenborough is his navigator. And the plane crashes, you know, spoilers. The plane crashes in the beginning of the film, and I love the introduction sequence because you kind of get to see some of the characters interacting with each other on the plane, joking around, things like that, and getting a bit of the banter and the feel of the characters before the plane crashes and the sandstorm hits. And then we get the title, The Flight of the Phoenix, and then we get kind of this really cool, kind of very retro feeling title sequence where you'll see all the characters jostling about in the plane as the plane is going through the sandstorm, and then it'll kind of pause on their image and you'll get the actor's name beneath them and stuff. It's kind of cool, I like that. And then we get, and I think it's about like 7-8 minutes until the credits start, and I kind of really like that. It was like a cool introduction. Okay, now the movie's starting. The plane crashes and they're stuck in the desert, and the whole film is about their survival, their plan to get out of there. And I suppose it's not really spoiling things because you can kind of see it on the front cover of the Blu-ray. It's shown in the very beginning of the trailer that's included as an extra on the disc. they try to build another plane out of the remnants of the plane that they crashed to go out of there, basically. But that isn't the whole part of the film. There's so many different elements that go into their survival, you know, from the water rationing to, you know, other plans. Maybe we can do other things to get out of this, you know, maybe we can signal to people. There, you know, loads of different things happen that could potentially provide them with a way to get out of this desert. And it's quite a long film, 2 hours and 22 minutes, and I loved every single second of it. This is one of my new favourite movies. I couldn't see this being outside of my maybe top 100 favourite films of all time. I'm not going to give it the massive praise like it's in my top 10 or anything, but man, I loved every single second of this film. It was, and again, I want to be honest with you guys when I do these things. Obviously I got sent the disc to review. If I didn't like it very much, I'm going to tell you that, but I completely honestly, this was an incredible film that I think anyone could enjoy, purely based on the acting, but I think the setting is really cool, and the desert and the plane, and how all the characters interact with each other. I think the character development in this is phenomenal. You have, I think, 14 people on the plane, and as the film progresses, I'd say at least 7 or 8 of those guys you really get to know, and then you have kind of the core 3-4 guys who are the main characters of the film. I'd say 3 really, with Jimmy Stewart, Richard Attenborough, and I guess the German actor Hardy Krüger. I'm assuming that's the guy anyway, the German guy Dorfman, who knows how to build planes, and so he's the one who kind of instigates the idea to escape the desert and to get back to civilization by building another plane out of the kind of carcass of the old one. I love the setting, as I said, the desert, you know, and a lot of it, I mean, it looked like it had to have been shot on location, obviously, because you see all the sand dunes and the gorgeous landscapes and stuff. But there's bits where they kind of had done it on stage, but I mean, they're really not seamless, I could tell, but they weren't used that often, and it was used so sparingly, I think, that it really flowed throughout the film. I didn't kind of get brought out of it too much. A couple of shots at the beginning with the plane flying, I saw a couple of wires because there was a lot of smoke and stuff and sand, but you know, it was only very small shots, and so it doesn't really detract from it too much. The transfer of the Blu-ray I thought was awesome. There's some great looking shots in this film. There are bits which don't look as good as the rest of the film, and they seem to be shots which were kind of either of a lower film stock or something, like insert shots. They wouldn't look quite as crisp as the main portion of the film, so there are quality drops throughout, and it does look a little rough in places, but man, for the most part, I think that the Blu-ray looks incredible, and seeing a film like this in HD for the first time is always a plus. I'd never heard of this, and it just blew me away. It really, really did. I loved not even the camaraderie, but the way that they would lock heads with each other and then kind of have to resolve it because they're stuck there, and all the different characters rubbing each other the wrong way, the people making different decisions and kind of having their own kind of struggles within the group of how they felt about being in that situation, and whether it was hopeless, whether they were going to die, whether they had any hope that this new plane would work. You know, the big kind of conflict in the film is between Jimmy Stewart, the pilot, and the German plane designer, because Jimmy Stewart does not like being told what to do. He's phenomenal in the film, by the way. An amazing performance. I think he's just one of the best actors of all time. Any film I've seen him in, he's been great, but this one, he was just awesome, so on point. And Richard Attenborough, what a great actor. I loved him in this film. He was brilliant. He made me chuckle. He made me tear up a little bit in this film. I will say it. There was a really touching moment with his character that I really, really enjoyed. It's just, yeah, it gets full marks for me, the whole film. And I think that one key thing I can kind of point out to you that really sells how much I love this film was that in today's kind of day of everything, you know, everything is moving so much faster these days than it used to, or maybe that's just me getting older. But you know, people have less and less time to watch films, to do things, because everything is moving so quickly. And for me, I can certainly say that's the case. The past few years, whenever I watch a film, even if I know it's going to be a classic, even if I've seen it before and I love it, I always go to the running time. How long is the film? Oh, it's 2.5 hours. Oh, does it have to be 2 hours long? Why can't every film be an hour and a half? You know, because I want to do other things. I've got other things to do in the day. This one, you know, and again, with that kind of that in mind, whenever I watch a film, I will just, you know, let's just check the running to how much is left. Okay, another hour. You know, this film, I didn't check the time whatsoever, except for one point. When I started the film, I was about an hour into it, and I thought, oh, I'm an hour into it. I'm almost halfway. This is really disappointing. I'm loving this. I checked the time, and it was only actually 36 minutes. It felt like an hour, but it was 36 minutes. And I practically danced down the stairs to get another glass of water. I was so excited that there's another almost 2 hours of this. That's how much I enjoyed this film. And I loved how the makeup was used on all the guys. You know, everyone kind of grows a beard throughout the course of the movie because they're there stranded for many days. And also you get to see kind of the skin like peel off, and well, not literally peel off, but you know, as the days go by it starts getting more rough on their face, and it just looks horrible, and it really makes you feel the kind of dry, desolate, kind of unforgiving environment that desert would probably be if you were in that position. And you really just feel the heat and all of that. Even at the beginning of the film when they're on the plane and everyone's face is just like covered in sweat, you feel the atmosphere of the locations in the film. But the performances, I think, and the dialogue it really stand out. You know, it's just written so well and performed so well, and just so many great tense moments. I mean, I loved how I didn't know where this film was going to end. I loved how I didn't know, you know, how is this going to play out? You know, how is that guy going to feel when he knows that that guy has done this? You know, and there were a few times in the film where I was literally like, what's going to happen? What is going to happen? And I was so engrossed. You know, it fit all of my kind of my boxes. You know, it ticked them all. I loved it. Absolutely phenomenal film. I implore you to check it out. I really, really do. As far as special features go, we have an isolated music and effects track, which, you know, I know that some people like those. I'll never make any use out of that, but it's cool that it's there, I guess. The score was very good. New video interview with film historian Sheldon Hall. I flicked through this, didn't have time to watch all of it because I need to get this video done today. But it seems very informative, and he was talking about like things like how this could kind of be considered a disaster movie, which I can totally see, especially from the opening. But to me, it's more of just kind of a group survival movie, I suppose. But he was kind of categorizing it in other ways as well. But he seemed to know what he was talking about. It's like 25 minutes long, so a decent kind of supplement to the main film. The original theatrical trailer in standard definition, English subtitles, of course, and there will be a booklet, you know, as always, the Masters of Cinema in the final copy with a new essay by film scholar Neil Sinyard and archival imagery. So I don't know how else I can sell the film to you, but that's how much I loved it. And yeah, I mean, it kind of almost over-delivered in a situation where I felt like it was going to be hard for it to even deliver, because I was hyping it up so much in my mind, you know, this kind of adventure survival thriller, you know, set in the desert, kind of a setting and location in films that I love, and then you add in the actors, and I just thought, this is going to be so good. But am I overhyping it to myself? I wasn't. It went even further than that, and it's definitely one of my new favourite films. So there you go, that's it, the Flight of the Phoenix. If you want to pick it up, there's a link in the description below to Amazon, and if you buy it from that link, then I will get a tiny percentage, which does nothing to you buying it, and I've mentioned this before. There's even a link in the description of all my videos where you can click on Amazon. It takes you to Amazon just like usual, but anything you buy, I get kind of a very small kind of kickback. You know, people have been doing it for years, and if you want to support the channel, besides using Patreon, then that is a great way to do it. Otherwise, just pick this up. I really implore you to. I do not think you'll regret it. I can't see anyone not really enjoying this film because it's just so well performed. Great story, you know, great location, great actors. It's brilliant. And yeah, as far as, you know, again, supporting the channel, I want to thank all my Patreon supporters, who I really don't thank enough. You've really been a huge help to my channel. I've just bought another hard drive, external hard drive, 2 terabytes, so I'm good now to back up all the stuff I'm doing. I've got the Epic Film Challenge 2 videos coming out almost every single day now. Trying to get back to the Massive Cinema Marathon. I've got a new marathon coming this week. Won't be a big one, be about an hour long. There's a new marathon coming. It's going to be a start of a new marathon series, so you can look forward to that. Keep your eyes peeled. There's a Silent Movie Marathon 3, which I just did last week. That's going to take me a while, and that'll probably come out maybe in October, and that video will probably be about 4 hours long, just to give you a bit of a taste. No, under 4 hours, I think I'm going to get it, because the footage, I can cut some stuff out, but it'll be epic in length as usual. I want to get back to the Star Wars videos, the road to episode 8, and there's loads of stuff. Big Blu-ray update coming soon as well. Tons of stuff to come on the channel. So yeah, thank you to everyone who watches and comments. Had some nice comments yesterday about the Epic Film Challenge too. I'll reply to those as soon as I can. But I do appreciate you guys saying that you enjoy the videos I'm doing currently. The Epic Film Challenge 2 series is definitely one that I'm loving to do, but doesn't get as many views as I would like. But at the same time, if there are some of you watching, some of you enjoying, then that's brilliant, and I really appreciate all the support. So there we go. That is my review of the Flight of the Phoenix. Again, I'm no like audiophile or anything like that. I can't go, oh, the audio was a little bit. Nah, for me, you know, I can just only judge it as I see it. It looked great to me. It sounded great, and I can't wait to pick it up and own it myself at some point, because it is definitely a must-own film. Even though I do collect all of the Masters Cinema, so I'm going to buy it anyway at some point. But if I didn't, I would say that this is one that I would definitely pick up regardless. And again, it sounds like I'm kind of giving you the hard sell here, but I'm being completely honest with you, and maybe if I continue this series and you guys like it, I might get to one where I'll say, yeah, it was pretty good. Maybe you'll like it if you like this kind of film, be a bit like CP, you know, and give you kind of the will you like it treatment. But I really did just love everything about this film, and I hope that you check it out. If you have seen it, let me know your thoughts on it. If you've seen the remake, let me know your thoughts on that. I'd be quite interested to maybe check it out. I've heard it's not very good. I know Hugh Laurie is in it, and I'm a big fan of him, so it might be one worth checking out at some point, but in most cases you can't really beat the original. So there we go. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next video.
So you might say he's a really nice guy, really, but if fucking don't cut shit with me. He says he's really cool, but I think he's a tool.